I'm Rich DeMarco with the Army Football Report. On Saturday, the Black Knights take on number 5 Stanford at Michie Stadium. Coming up in just a moment, we'll talk with Army junior fullback Larry Dixon, coming off a 100-yard game at Ball State. But up first, here are comments from head coach Rich Ellerson's news conference previewing Saturday's game against the Cardinal.
We're a frustrated outfit at the moment. We took a step back from that opener where we were playing so well, we were playing so competently with respect to the ball off the ground, with respect to penalties, kicking game. All those things took a step back. In some cases, 2 steps back. So as we get ready for Stanford, that's going to want to steal the conversation, and it can't, because we have to keep our eyes inside. We have to be that poised, competent football team, so we can find out how we match up. Because the truth is, when you have the ball on the ground that much, when you're penalized that much, when you do some of those things that we did in the kicking game, or fail to do some of those core competencies, the score the score reflects those things as opposed to the matchup. We're going to focus on doing things right. Obviously, we're going to have a plan. We have an offense. We have a defense. They do a lot of the same things we've seen. They just do it in different proportionality. They're going to be in I backs with 3 tight ends on the field. They're going to challenge you physically like you've never been challenged. They're a power football team, but they will get into the gun. They'll run zone read. They'll have 3 wide receivers. So we'll see a lot of the things we've been preparing for. We're just going to see them in much different proportions. We can't play like that. We can't have the ball on. We have 2 snaps on the ground. We have a mesh fumble. We throw in interceptions. We have another mental breakdown before the half, and then we have a delay of game with AJ at the end of the game. So it's a team effort there. Obviously, when there's a mesh fumble, there's more than one guy involved. When there's an interception, there's more. But that's obviously competitive. And I liked what AJ did when he came in the game. Clearly, he can do all the things we want a quarterback to do in this offense. We're going to pay attention. I'll say what I said going into the season. Don't be surprised to see 2 quarterbacks. We failed to bring those things from the practice environment to the game with us. And why that is, again, if I understood all that, I'd write a book. But all I know is you got to do it right. You got to do it at tempo. You got to do it all week long. Again, we've been doing it that way for months. We haven't had a ball on the ground in the mesh for weeks, literally weeks. That just makes us crazy. We work on not hitting people out of bounds and not hitting people in the back more than any team in America. We make sure our guys experience that decision choice every day as we prepare, as we do our warm-up drill. And we have virtually eliminated those penalties from our docket. And then to have it just come out of nowhere, it's got us talking to ourselves a little bit. We can't afford to be reading the newspaper. We can't afford to be reading the clippings in the paper about ourselves or about them. We've got to be about ourselves. We've got to be about doing things our way, doing things right, doing things that are consistent with being successful on the football field.
That was Army head coach Rich Ellerson. The Black Knights take on Stanford at noon on Saturday, and I'm joined by Army fullback Larry Dixon. Larry coming off a 100-yard game against Ball State, which included a 71-yard scoring run on the game's 3rd play. Larry, first off, congratulations on the individual performance, but I know there's some disappointment coming up on the short end of the scoreboard.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at it, we did a lot of things that hurt ourselves. I mean, I feel like we lost the game for ourselves. I mean, we didn't do the things it takes to win, so it's disappointing for us. But we're gonna do the right things in practice to make it better.
Individually, though, for you, a 100-yard game, and a lot's been made of your off-season conditioning. Tell me a bit about that and how maybe there's been some tangible results from that in your performance the first couple of games.
The offseason, I mean, kind of focused more on dieting. I mean, we always have a great workout regimen. It's just really tightening up on the dieting thing. And sort of tangible things, I mean, I feel a lot better during games, and I got a little bit more speed moving. At least I like to think I do. So, I mean, it's been feeling a lot better.
Coming up on Saturday, Stanford comes to Michie Stadium, the defending Pac-12 champions, the defending Rose Bowl champions. Larry, you're a West Coast guy, so you know about Stanford. Just talk to me, though, about the opportunity taking on a team like this presents.
I mean, you dream about this ever since you're a kid. I mean, you come to college football, you want to be the best football player ever. I mean, you're playing the best team in the nation, one of the best teams in the nation. I'm a West Coast guy, I'm a little biased, but So you got an opportunity to compete with the best players. So, I mean, we're just more than excited for this opportunity to play them and compete with these guys.
Well, Larry, we appreciate a couple of minutes. Best of luck in your preparation the rest of the week. And, of course, come noon on Saturday when you take on Stanford.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Army fullback Larry Dixon. It's Army and Stanford, a noon kick time at Michie Stadium coming up on Saturday. With the Army Football Report for Night Vision, I'm Rich DeMarco.